Vamos, brothers and sisters, it's your boy JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings, the series. Of course, where we go through everything happening in and around the world at Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it. And you know what? No milling about today, no joshing around the park. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. Psych! Before we do start everything, before we do dig our lashes into it, if you could help support me, support you, we are trying to hit 4K before the start of the new season. We are moonwalking our way over to 4K. So if you do want to stay up to date with any future content in and around the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I'm live or I'm uploading. But let's not waste any more of your time for real now. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. And the first story, boy, it is not a good one. Football kit sales delayed as supply chain issues hits the clubs. That is right. The news has dropped today that Leeds United fans are going to have to wait even longer to get our hands on the new kits. That is right. According to BBC and various other publications, fewer than half of the English football clubs in the 92 club pyramid are able to get their kits. 44 of the teams have both kits available out of the 92. 22 of the teams only have their home kit. 7 of the teams only have their away kit available to be purchased. And 19 of the teams have neither kit available. This is apparently because of COVID restrictions that have gone in on the east, which has kind of caused a lot of shutdown for a lot of factories and warehouses out in these Eastern Asian countries or wherever they're being made. And this has caused problems for a lot of Premier League clubs, a lot of English clubs in getting their kits. And one of the worst ones that have been struck are Leeds United, who do not have our home kit or our away kit. We have been absolutely done dirty here. We don't have any kit to show for ourselves. We have the home kit, but even that isn't mass produced enough in order to be sold. So this is going to cause some serious financial implications for Leeds. It is. We're not able to sell any kits now, especially when we have such a budding, growing audience in the United States. It is the perfect time to capitalize on that. Capitalize on that by selling a lot of Aronson shirts, a lot of Tyler Adams shirts over in the States, and making a lot of that green moolah, which, whether you like it or not, is how this game is run now. And if you're trying to tell me that getting a lot of these Americans didn't have anything to do with capitalizing on the American market as a whole, then you are living under a little bit of a rock. Yes, a lot of it was professional based, but a lot of it also would be to capitalize on that American market, on that new American audience, and to make some green cashola off the back of it. However, we're not going to be able to because of the COVID disruption that's happening at the factories in Asia. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get our new kits. But the next story, and a story of someone that we might not have to wait so long for, it is this man, Ben Brereton Diaz. And according to Unai Emery's long-lost brother, Daniel Emery, Leeds could land their very own Patrick Bamford, or rather the next Patrick Bamford, with Ben Brereton Diaz. Wow, look, when they put it like this, it was really shocking last year, wasn't it? 42 goals in 38 Premier League matches. That is horrendous. Rafinha was our top goal scorer, has left to Barcelona, the only player who reached double figures for goals and one of 3 attackers with more than 4 strikes. It is absolutely shocking stuff. Obviously, we need a striker, and they're throwing the hat back in for Ben Brereton Diaz. Now, what I will tell you is these links are not very strong. These links are about as strong as an anorexic bodybuilder. It's a bit for Fugazi. I don't really see this one happening. I just have brought this to you, of course, just to see what you guys think about Ben Brereton Diaz. Are you still on the bandwagon? Do you still have any sort of interest in him? Or do you want to wipe your hands clean with him and go for a Kalimuendo or a Charles Ketelaere? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. And another name I want to get your guys' opinion on is this man, Jack Harrison. And it's pretty much assured and accepted now across the world of football that Leeds United will be keeping hold of him. We spoke yesterday about how Newcastle was setting their sights elsewhere and that it looks like Leeds will be safe for another year with Jack Harrison. Of course, he will be going down near his final end of his contract, or final year of his contract, so we do have to be very, very careful. I'd say we've got to sign him down to a new deal this year, if we're being honest, even if we do plan to sell him, just so we can cash in some more money. What a beautiful kit this was, by the way. I absolutely loved it. But yes, it does seem pretty confirmed that he is going to be staying here. The issue is Newcastle don't don't value him at £30 million. Leeds see him at about £35 million. Leeds don't want to sell. You know you are playing with these out-and-out wingers. You need 3. Look, this is exactly what I was saying yesterday. They want to go for another player who is valued at £30 million, and they don't value Jack Harrison at that. So they clearly don't think he's up to scratch for the future. They clearly see him as a bit of a bit part player, maybe a stepping stone player until they can get higher up the league. So that's telltale signs for me. They see him as someone cheap and someone that they could get with Premier League experience, and I don't see it happening. Now, one move that I really still don't see happening. I know yesterday I was a little bit more confident about it with the Charles Ketelaere thing. Leeds are apparently still not giving hope of a £31 million deal for Charles Ketelaere, as AC Milan failed to meet Club Brugge's asking price with a £27 million bid. But the Belgian forward's preference is obviously a move to the San Siro, and according to that San Siro club, they do expect that the will of Charles Ketelaere will lure him over there, despite the fact that they are unable to meet Club Brugge's asking price. They're still unable to meet it, and whereas Leeds have not only met it, we've gone over their asking price, €5 million over with the €37 million bid. We have gone well over and above their asking price. And according to a journalist by the name of Alexander Brachman, Club Brugge would actually be willing to accept Leeds United's offer for Charles Ketelaere. They'd be willing to accept it. It's way higher than anything else that we've managed to get. Or they've managed to get from AC Milan or anyone like that, and they're still willing to, they're not still willing, they are willing to accept it. However, they are still holding out because the player and the player's entourage has basically turned around and said, as we've seen the story before, over and over and over again, I want to go to AC Milan. I don't want to go to Leeds, and this really, really, really makes me feel of the Rafinha situation all over again. Chelsea had the deal done and dusted, and we completely screwed them over. Rafinha screwed them over, and he just eventually ended up going to Barcelona as everyone expected. And this is exactly what I see happening here. Doesn't matter how much more we offer, I still think he will end up at AC Milan. And speaking of how much we've offered, we haven't hurt our chances here. Apparently, according to Tim Whelan, Leeds have not only offered that initial bid, but we have now upped our bid to €40 million. That is mad. That is pretty damn crazy if you do ask me. And I mean, if we don't manage to get him with a €40 million bid, then let's just leave it. Let's just cut it at that. Let's go for someone else. Let's get another deal done. Let's get another striker in ASAP. Because look, we're being messed around here. We're being played like a fiddle. I don't see this one happening. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it could happen? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And as we showed our financial clout there, we could use that financial clout to splash the cash and lure this man, Terrier, in. A man who actually is probably higher desired by quite a lot of Leeds fans over Charles Ketelaere. He would cost £34 million, so just slightly more than what Charles Ketelaere would cost. But by all the counts, he does seem like he would actually be happy to come over to Ellen Road. At 25 years old as well, he's a little bit more experienced. He's probably going to hit the ground running a little bit more. You could argue that there's potentially less sell-on value. There's less scope for growth. Yes, there's arguments either side of it, but it does seem like a move Leeds could be making and are hotting up interest for, according to Pete O'Rourke. And speaking of another move that Leeds United are very, 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 very interested in, Graham Bailey hints or claims that Arnaud Kalimuendo could end up at Leeds United, but not as you think, that it could just be a loan move. That is right. Obviously, we spoke yesterday about all the speculation around the manager who wants to keep him, around the sporting director, Luis Campos, who wants to sell him, and how there's a lot of other clubs also waiting in the wings. Leeds, obviously, the favourite, and how he was probably going to be sold until he came back and had such an impressive pre-season. The new manager, Christopher Gaita, very, very interested in him, and he would probably be more happy that it is a loan move. They go on to talk about the fact that they don't expect him to be at PSG next season, at the start of next season, because of the sheer competition that he has to deal with, and it would not be good for his development either way. And because the manager is so keen on him, they might be happier with just a loan deal, whether that's a loan with an option to buy or an obligation to buy, or how it's done. It does seem like they are waiting around to see how he develops at Leeds and see if they could potentially get him. Now, does this mean they're guaranteed to buy him back? No, because this is PSG. PSG and they could splash the cash on anyone. Although they are going for a little bit more of a self-sustainable model now. So maybe not. It's an interesting one. I hope we get this done as a permanent deal. I really do hope we get this done as a permanent deal. And I would prefer him to Charles de Ketelaere. Now, you may say, what an idiot, what a fraud. What are you playing at, James? But I think he fits our system better. I'd much prefer him. I think he's a better player than Charles de Ketelaere. And I think he has better room for development. But hey, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it isn't. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. But for me, I want this guy. I want him. You know, there's something about him. He's got that bit of charisma, that bit of sauce, that bit of confidence on that ball, that bit of arrogance of class. And he's got more class than on grass. So I would like it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would you be happy to accept it as a loan deal? Or would you think that's a bit too off-putting for you? Now, one move that certainly wouldn't be a loan deal is another striker. Leeds going ham for these strikers. And we have submitted a bid for one of them. Leeds United submit bargain bid for another former Jesse Marsch pupil. That's right, we're at it again, going for another former RB Salzburg Don. And this time it is Mergim berisha who joins the striker shortlist. The 24-year-old was born in Germany but began his footballing development at Austria with RB Salzburg. Of course, under the tutelage of Jesse Marschmeister. Marshmallow, Marshmeister, whatever you want to call him. Jesse Gang Business Marsch started off his journey with him. And it is apparently a striker that would only cost £4.3 million. Okay, it hasn't really gone too well for him over at Fenerbahce. However, in his previous spell over at Salzburg, it did go a little bit better for him. Obviously, that is where the link is coming in. He scored 14 goals and got 10 assists in 28 Austrian Bundesliga matches. And the fact that things have gone so poorly for him here, despite how well he played in the Austrian Bundesliga, is exactly why I wasn't happy with us going for too many of these Salzburg Dons. And which is why I really am not too crazy about him. But he is for so cheap. Maybe he's just a backup of the backup. But Leeds have put a bid in for him. That bid being totaled at £1.7 million. Pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. If we can get him as a backup for £1.7 million, I mean, I don't really care for it. I think it is just taking up wages and taking up spaces in the squad that we don't really need. I really don't think we really need him. But hey, I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I probably still do the deal just as an extra backup. I mean, I don't know if this means Rodrigo's out the door. I don't know where he would fit in. I mean, it's a pretty weak gamble. You know, there's not too much downside to it. If he works, he works. If he doesn't work, then hey, he only cost $1 million anyway. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Is this just going to dilute the squad? Do we need an extra backup? Do we need an extra backup of potentially questionable quality, or could he hit the ground running? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. For me, I'm not too happy with it. And the other question is this a move that the dubbed most cost-effective club in the Premier League would make? That is right, Leeds absolutely killing it in 2021. The Premier League cost per goal per £1 million. Leeds absolutely tanking it with £2.36 million per goal, as opposed to Chelsea's £8.55 million. And the thing that makes this really interesting here is Fulham have a £6.31 million Premier League cost per goal, which is pretty mad. Well, that's the thing that shocked me a bit. But Leeds, clearly very, very effective, and hence why we are currently the second highest spending team this transfer window with 106 million euros, just behind Manchester City on 109. It is important to take into account, though, that we did make pretty much 100 million euros plus back with the sale of Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. So that doesn't take into account net spend. But let me know what you guys think about all of these transfer rumors down in the comment section down below. Could Helder Costa be going as well? Could Ketelaere be staying? Could anybody be coming to Ellen Road within the next 2 weeks before the season starts? I don't know. We're going to have to start making moves quick time. But that is all we have for today. That is all we have for right now. I will stay up to date with you very soon. But for now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters. Hello.